Hey guys, today we're gonna have a look into how to make this vocal bass from Stuck Inside.
You when you're stuck inside. How when you're stuck inside. You when you're stuck inside. How when you're stuck inside my head. You when you're stuck inside. How when you're stuck inside. You when you're stuck inside.
So we use the same vocal for intro and for the drop, and intro is quite processed as well.
You when you're stuck inside. How
Let's switch off all effects. Here is the original sample,
how can I forget you when you're stuck inside my head? How can I?
and then we chopped it and applied like some of processing, so you can hear the result.
You when you're stuck in.
Nothing really special, it's a bit of vocoding, distortion, oddity compression, and reverb. But then the funniest part is in the drop. There is quite a lot of things happening here, so let's check it out without processing.
Do when you're stuck inside. Do when you're stuck inside.
So first of all, we pitch down the sample to 1 octave lower,
Do when you're stuck inside.
and now let's check step by step what we did. Let me switch off all effects and just go through them one by one.
Do when you're stuck.
So the first things which is going here is a gate which let us trigger like the necessary parts of the sample and isolate some unwanted noises and things like that.
Do when you're stuck in.
Then the next thing is envelope follower, which is really important. So basically it triggers certain parameters and make them change when the sound happens, on certain level of loudness. So it just shapes the form.
Do when you're.
We mapped it to a few parameters like gains and frequency position and dry wet of one of the plugins later, I can't remember which one. And it basically make this parameter to follow the shape of the waveform of the sound. Next thing here is quite heavy compression to sausage the sound.
Do when you're stuck inside.
The next important plugin in this chain is Waves Tune. It helps us to keep our pitch correct. It's like auto-correcting pitch in real time, and it helps us to stay in our key.
Do when you're stuck inside.
And now we come to the funny, magical part. So we have audio rec which split the signal basically into bands, high and low, and we have slightly different processing for each of them. Let's check them out one by one. So main transformation plugin here is a vocal synth. So two key engines we use in vocal synth is Biovox, which transform our vocal into some creepy, bassy kind of sound, and the vocoder.
When you're stuck.
In vocoder we use saw oscillator pitch down to 2 octaves lower to get that bass texture and low character. And this is our foundation.
When you're stuck inside.
You can experiment with other engines to get different textures and different characters of your bass sound to get, different kind of feeling. And also, it works to play with automatization to get some changes in your bass as well. We also applied some built-in effects like distortion to get our bass more gritty. Then next thing we used was Serum FX. We used hyperdimension to get our sound wider and also distortion to make it even fatter. Some pretty standard distortion settings you can check here. You can also experiment with different types of distortion. Just feel free to experiment to get different results. And then the last thing we have here is filter. Next in the chain is utility. It's a built-in Ableton's plugin, and we control the gain of utility with envelope follower as I showed earlier. It basically acts like another gate and let us to control which sound we hear. So it basically works only when the vocal is, playing and prevent some unwanted sounds, to happen. Then another mini rack in our existing rack is a rack with EQ8 and kilohertz chorus. Let's check it. So we have kind of like a notch filter thing here, which is linked to our envelope follower, and it creates a movement in the bass. And the dry wet of chorus is also automated by envelope follower. Then we have a gentle touch of beat crusher, just to give some spice to the sound. And then we used our fat track, which you can download on the Patreon. I think we posted it a couple of months ago, or was the last month in July. It makes things even nastier. Then we have erosion, which gives us a bit of noise on the top, a little nice touch. And then basic EQing, cutting all low frequencies, because as you remember, we are talking about mid and high band, and low frequencies are processed separately. Let's check out the low frequencies chain. We have vocal synth again, but with slightly different settings. We use first oscillator with strange waveform, same pitched 2 octaves below. Then we have Camo Fat to make sound fatter. And Utility and UQ8 to isolate frequencies. Then in the end we have a limiter to boost loudness even more, but just a little bit. And Soothe 2 to clean our mess a little bit. That's basically it. We didn't use this EQ8 here. Let's have a listen. Then another thing you could do, and what we also did in this project, was we actually didn't like the low frequencies from the original sample. And we just used synth to create them. Some sort of simple 808-ish distorted sub. And let's check how they sound together. Then another thing we did was we bounced the original file and made a new stem out of it. And then we added one extra layer of super crispy high end to get a little bit more dirt to the sound, which was totally different sample. As I said many times, experiment and be creative to get unexpected results. And here is our final bass. Now let's have a bit of freestyling and pick up different sample and make a bass out of it.
Let me live my life. But he don't look the way you give you my emotion. Give you my emotion.